All right, welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell here. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're now joined by Blaine Perkins, who will be driving the '03 Chevrolet for Our Motorsports on a part-time deal. Currently 6 races right now, but potentially more starting in April at Martinsville. Hi, Blaine.
How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem, man. So yeah, putting this deal together after a successful campaign in ARCA West last year. What made you decide to go Xfinity racing?
After 3 years in ARCA, I felt like it was time. We had a really successful year, like you said, winning 3 races last year and getting second in the championship. So felt like it was time to make a move up in the racing world, and felt like it was just going to be a really good fit going here at Our Motorsports when that opportunity arose. And I'm really looking forward to getting on track with these guys here in a couple months.
Yeah, so I feel like I asked the same question to Sam Mayer when they announced the Junior Motorsports. So I'll ask it to you. Do you know what your plans are when you're not in the car?
I mean, as for right now, it's just preparing for getting into the car. Training, watching videos, all that stuff. Doing everything I can, because obviously I don't get that many races this year, 6 as of right now. So just trying to be as mentally prepared as possible when it comes to Martinsville.
How do you mentally prepare for a race?
Mentally, it's a lot of just homework, I call it. It's the same thing with school. You got to get it done. And I watch a lot of videos, the past races. I'll be watching all the Xfinity races this year and just trying to pick up on little things, people I'm racing with, how to race. That way when I get in the car, it's just a little bit smoother of a transition.
Okay, so you've made a little bit of a transition on of your own. So earlier this year, you were living in California out on the West Coast, but decided to make the move to North Carolina. What was that all like?
Yeah, it was definitely an experience. Driving across the country is long ways, but it's something that's always been a possibility over the past few years, and I felt like it was just time to really go full force into this racing. And I think everything revolves around Mooresville back here, and if I wanted to do it right, I had to be back here.
I noticed that hat you're wearing. You signed with the I know the Truax Group is helping you guys out. What's that been like, having them?
It's been really good. I've gotten to meet some people, obviously, and it's a lot of old friends that I have from back West Coast. So it's kind of just a really good home, a good fit. And obviously I know a bunch of the drivers there. So it's just been a really good fit, and I'm looking forward to working with those guys.
So there's a lot of, obviously outside of racing, I know you're a huge sports fan. We just had the NFL and we just had the Super Bowl, and I know you and I like to talk about NFL a lot. What do you think about all this season and surprising moves and trades and all that stuff?
Yeah, no, it was a really good sports year, especially with COVID and everything. Really happy everything got in. And then Super Bowl, I know we were talking about it a bunch, and I was almost right. I had Buccaneers winning 31-28, just a little off on the Chiefs, but give or take a few points. And just really happy that sports are just kind of getting back to normal. Racing's starting up now. Like everybody says, 7 days after the Super Bowl's Daytona 500. So just looking forward to getting back to racing now.
Okay. Let's get, so I've done this with a lot of drivers that a lot of, maybe the up and coming drivers that a lot of people don't know. Let's get to know Blaine Perkins a little bit, shall we? Let's see. So outside of racing, what do you like to do?
I've still got friends back home. So just talking to friends back home, whether it's over the phone or even playing like video games. Like I said, I'm a big sports guy. So Madden or anything. Just to kind of connect with people back home.
Your thoughts on the big Stafford Goff trade? You and I were talking about that a lot.
We were. I was a little surprised. I felt like that they gave up a lot of first rounders, but you know what? They got their quarterback, and that's all that matters. The Rams are definitely going to be a force.
Where does Carson Wentz go?
I don't know. I still want to see him go to the Colts, but I think he'll go to the Bears. It sounds like a lot of sources are saying.
Where does Matt Ryan go?
Matt Ryan, maybe the Patriots. I know they're looking for a quarterback, and I think he'd fit well in that system.
When you look at, when you look at overall, what do you kind of like see from the perspective? Do you like have a favorite team, or do you just have? Because I know you're big into like fantasy football. Did you win your league this year, or how about what was all that?
Yeah, that's a tough subject there. Right
Gotta
now,
bring
I'm
it
kind of a little bit of a choke artist in the fantasy football leagues. It seems like I lead the league every year and just can't win the championship. So hopefully that turns around next year in fantasy. But honestly, yeah, I don't have a really big favorite team. It's just kind of whoever I've got, and I just like watching football.
Yeah. Okay. So, have you raced at Daytona before?
So I've never raced there, but I have practiced there twice.
Okay. Best moment from your racing career last few years.
100% leading Talladega. Never forget that one. That was pretty special.
Yeah. I did watch 2018 Talladega the other day. That was
great race. A lot of great drivers too.
Oh yeah. And you just see from like all of them, it's like, oh, they're all in Xfinity now.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Most of them are, or some are in trucks or something like that. But yeah. So name a race that you want to get back?
What do you mean?
Like, is there a race, if you had a do-over, is there a race that you kind of like, if you could do something different, what would you do? Like, a race that you thought you had won, but you didn't.
I'd say Talladega. I mean, we ran out of gas there on the last lap. So maybe pitting earlier in the race or saving a little more fuel. I don't know what we could have done, but just not running out would have been great.
Favorite, how many times have you had In-N-Out Burger?
Too many to count. I miss it.
Best thing about living on the West Coast?
The weather. I mean, it's cold for me back here. I've obviously I'm from Bakersfield, but I moved to the kind of beach area, Santa Monica, last year for school, and the weather is just amazing. So hopefully we get it start warming up a little bit here. I'm not used to the snow that we've been getting a couple days a week, but just the weather's really nice back home.
Yeah, we're used to it up here in Michigan, so there you go.
Yeah, I can't really complain.
Okay, so let's see. Are you more of a going out and do things, or a Netflix and chill guy?
I'd probably say more of just like a Netflix and chill guy. I mean, I'm not big in the party scene or kind of going out to clubs or anything like that. So just kind of just relaxing, just staying at home is kind of my deal.
Yeah, especially right now because of COVID.
Yep.
Since you've been to North Carolina, what's been the biggest change that you've seen?
Definitely it's about the racing community. I mean, everybody back here is involved in racing. It's kind of insane, and you just kind of just meet random people and they're either on this team or that team, or it's just a lot different than back home. I mean, you say you're a race car driver back home and everybody's like, oh wow, what do you do? Back out here, it's just like, oh, yep. Sounds good.
Have you seen any drivers at like the grocery store or anything like that?
No, not at the grocery store, but other places. I mean,
okay, so who have you seen so far?
I don't know. I haven't seen too many guys. I mean, obviously at Truax, I've met some of the guys there. But as far as outside, I haven't met too many drivers. But definitely just like crew guys that work on different teams.
Yeah. Are you getting used to all the cold and stuff? Did you have to bring like pairs of pants or something? Because all you wear out in California is like shorts and stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely taken a bit to get used to. Definitely different clothes, but I think I'm finally getting used to it a little bit. But like I said, I'm ready for the sun to come out a little more and it to be a little warmer.
Yeah. Do you know the 6 races that you are running?
Yeah, so we will run Martinsville, Charlotte, Coda, Nashville, Road America, and Pocono.
Nice. Nice stretch of races right there.
Absolutely. A little bit of everything.
Yeah, buddy. So when you is there a track that you've always wanted to go to and race at?
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, there's always tracks that you want to race at. I'd say on the NASCAR schedule in particular, I've always looked at kind of Darlington. I just think it's a really cool racetrack, an old racetrack. It looks extremely difficult. Um, but it's always been a track that I've always loved to watch the racing at.
Are you someone that likes getting up early or staying up late?
Definitely staying up late. You don't want to see me like before 7 o'clock in the morning.
Sometimes those early morning flights are you might have to get used to those.
Yeah, I've had 1 or 2 in the day.
So what favorite all-time movie?
The standard race car answer, Talladega Nights. I mean, that's just what we live in. I think it's a great movie.
It said Days of Thunder.
Yeah, it's both of them.
Yeah. Favorite TV Hulu show or Netflix or whatever?
That's tough. I watch a lot of different shows on Netflix, but I definitely like TV series. Whether it's like more medical shows or like just more interesting shows, I guess, like detective shows, medical shows, anything like that.
Yeah. Have you ever raced at Martinsville before?
I have not. I've never even seen the track.
Okay. Interesting. Should be an interesting race. So basically you got some time off, just looking up those 6 races, seeing what they are, because no one's been to Coda, no one's been to, well, people have been to Nashville. I think Justin Allgaier's been there, but what do you think about all these new tracks?
I think it's great. I mean, just having new tracks is always good. I like to see what Xfinity's doing, going to all these road courses. Obviously, we won our road course race last year, and I started racing in go-karts, so I love seeing racing going that way. And that's kind of why we picked a couple of the road courses. They have some more practice, so hopefully I have a little bit more time in the car and hopefully get a little bit better results too.
Nice. All right. Blaine Perkins, thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure we'll have you on at some point later on before your debut when we get to Martinsville in April. So it seems like an eternity, but it'll be here before you know it.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for having me.